Hi everyone, my name is Paul Vachewski and welcome to the Real Estate Classroom YouTube channel. My mission is simple: to help you pass your real estate exam the first time. Today we're going to be doing vocabulary words 276 to 283 of 300, all the words evolving around the survey systems. So right out of the chute, 276, what is a survey? Well, a survey is a property survey. It is done to determine the size and the boundaries of a piece of real property. Now, there are several different types of surveys that one can order. The surveys are performed or done by a surveyor. This is something that is a licensed activity in almost all states. And I'm not going to go into in-depth detail, but what you have to know for the real estate exam is a survey will do a couple of things. It will identify the boundaries of a piece of real property. It also, depending on the type of the survey, will also identify things such as improvements, subsurface improvements like a well or a septic tank. It also can identify certain types of restrictions on the property, such as the easement or encroachments that may have been placed against the property. So 277 is a type of survey. It's called the Meets and Bounds system. The Meets and Bounds system actually was developed for the original 13 colonies. It's still used in many states, including the 13 colonies. And there are a couple of key terms you have to know. Meets refers to the direction or the bearing, and bounds determines or refers to the distance of that measurement or that direction. So meets, for example, would say we're going to go in a direction of 090 for 500 yards. The 500 yards is the bounds. Now, I've done a video on this already that you can check out. Check it out in the playlist. But again, what it does is it creates basically a circumference of the property. And as each leg of the meets and bounds is determined, it creates a legal description. So once you've closed the circle, if you will, it's not a perfect circle, but once you've closed the circle, you will have a legal description to your piece of property. It creates the boundaries of the land, and those boundaries are typically either a natural landmark like a tree, a lake, or a river, or they can be man-made boundaries such as roads, stakes, markers, things like that. The problem with meets and bounds, and when people use those, is things change. If it's a natural boundary, it's the big oak tree, it's the Farmer Brown's barn, for example. Those things burn down, they get tore down, they get cut down. Roads, if it's a road, they get moved, they get widened. That can be an issue when we're trying to determine the legal description of a piece of property, but meets and bounds is still used a lot in this country. The next type of survey I want to talk about is the government rectangular system. It is a method of surveying land using lines of longitude and latitude. It is the most accurate. In fact, it was created as a response to the Louisiana Purchase in 1803 when we bought from France this huge piece of property in the United States, and they were doing homesteading and giving away land, and it was just a more efficient, accurate way of surveying a piece of property. I've done a video on this one as well. If you want to check that out for more detail. But the key here is we use the lines of latitude and longitude. And the next couple of keywords we're going to talk about all evolve around the government rectangular system of surveying. Number 279 is a check. Now, a check is a form of measurement in the government rectangular system of surveying. And basically, when we're talking about the government rectangular system, we take big chunks of land, we break them down into smaller chunks and smaller chunks and smaller chunks, and each one is a measurement. Each one has their own unique name. Each one is, as we get smaller, all the way down to the lock and block system, we are creating our legal description of our piece of property. The first measurement I want to talk about in this system is a check. It is a 24 by 24 mile square. And one check equals or contains 16 townships. And you have to know these for your real estate exam. How big is a check and how many townships does it contain? Number 280 is a township. Again, it's another form of measurement in the government rectangular system. A township is 6 miles by 6 miles, and one township that is 6 miles by 6 miles contains 36 sections. Number 281 is a section. Again, it's a land measurement in the government rectangular system. It is a 1 mile by 1 mile square, and one section contains 640 acres. Again, these last three, the check, the township, and the section of land, you have to know how big they are and how many of a check has 16 townships. A township has 36 sections, and a section is 1 mile by 1 mile, and it contains 640 acres. You have to memorize those for your real estate exam. Next is the lot and block number system. This is part of the government rectangular system as well. And remember, we talked about the system is designed on taking a huge chunk of land like a check and breaking it into a smaller and smaller and smaller piece. So we have a check that's 24 by 24 miles. We break it down into townships, which is 6 by 6 miles, which we break down into sections, which is 1 by 1 mile or 640 acres. Eventually, we break that section down into such a small area that it's called a lot and block number system. And basically it just identifies specific lots in a subdivision. So eventually we're going to break that section down into a piece of property so small we call it a subdivision. A subdivision is a community, and it may have 100, 200, or 500 individual lots that we place homes on. What the lot and block system does is identifies a specific lots within that subdivision, and what we create is what's called a plat map. Now 283, the plat or the plat map, is under the lot and block system, and it is a map. You open it up and you can see, like block number 2, lot 15. It's a lot where we place an individual house. And that is essentially the government rectangular system. I've done videos on both of these, meets and bounds and the government rectangular system, and you can check them out here on this channel. All right, everybody, I'll see you in the next video.